to execute. So thinking about the executes on
There
Cassante, locks it in. The Garen execute is effective if you get ulted.
So for those of you who might not be familiar, because we haven't seen it in a little bit here, at least not at home in the LTA for us, Garen.
FlyQuest do still have positioning on the lane, though. Of course, they do have that ranged advantage. But you're right in saying that there's a lot of expectations on both these top laners' shoulders. It was Whippo that came out the gate swinging in game one. The health bar's getting lower and lower. Oh, keeping your eyes on Inspired here. Look, he's setting up for an invade. He's trying to steal away that Gromp.
Oh, very early.
Get it.
Nicely done from Inspired, but now in the bottom lane, Boostio's about to die! First blood over to G2! Nicely done, as Masu wants to try to get something back, but the only thing he's gonna get is a trip to the graveyard! This time around, though, it's Hans Sama. He's up in farm, he's up in kills, he's up in gold, and now he's valking in after Whippo, who has to turn around and run. Yes, you are a Garen. Yes, you're up in levels, but you're in a 1v2. Now Quad in some danger as Caps
I've not seen this type of performance from them for a while. Whippo level 6, the cavalry's coming in.
Yeah, Whippo still ready to try to turn this one around. Lebrov gets silenced, but he's not worried about it. Full health still on Hans and Lebrov both, as Skewmond is chased out of the Dragon Pit by Inspired. So FlyQuest, despite hemorrhaging these early kills, will at least take the first objective, forcing the enemy. But you can see G2 hanging around. There's nothing else to look at in the other side of the river, so G2 are gonna look at this instead. Busio gets crashed down on by Lebrov, but Masu misses the center route. Hans Sama is here, level 6 on the Corki. The rocket poke can be very, very devastating. Hans gonna try to steal one of those grubs away there with a Frost Bomb, but it doesn't hit with the timing. Now that last grub, the target here for FlyQuest. Whippo's coming up around the side. FlyQuest looking to go in as Quad finds the engage. Follow up there with a Cyclone, and Hans is already down. Nice damage coming in from the Wukong, but now Caps is between worlds. Lebrov is low. Caps has to go back over the wall, and Broken Blade has found his way into the middle of the fight, but Busio is already out. FlyQuest, get a kill, get the grubs, and get everybody. There's always one off of cooldown, and Broken Blade is making sure he doesn't give Whippo any more ticks on the spin. G2 starting up the second Drake of the game, now immediately turning for the engage onto Inspired. He drops the clone, he tries to get back away, and Skillmon's gonna be killed instead. Masu rotates into the fight, and Quad and Busio are looking at Lebrov. Hans Sama flying away as Busio and Quad go on a magical journey, and Lebrov gets away to safety underneath the tier 1 turret. Hans Sama continuing his retreat. G2, they thought they had the trigger pull, but it was a trap trigger, and Inspired ends up baiting him in.
The counterpunch from
FlyQuest got all 3 grubs, did take a significant amount of a beating. That means that if FlyQuest can secure that, they'll earn the boots there. Whippo starting to use the spin before Broken Blade enters into the scrap there with a Pathmaker, but it's G2 who want to find the kill here onto the Garen. Immediately, Skewmon makes the engage. Whippo is low, flashing away, trying to finding some sort of an outplay, but immediately Broken Blade goes all out. Skewmon, though, trying to get himself away as Busio wants to get one back, but the kill credit over to Caps is right where G2 wants the money.
Strong play there from G2 up on the top side to get it and get out. They, as you say, it does cost them 1 flash. Now Busio in the middle.
Nice play coming out from Lebrov, and immediately Broken Blade looking to slam Busio back into the wall, but Busio with a 2-man stun, ready to set it up as Caps goes between worlds. Busio gets away underneath the turret. The tempered fade is perfect. Inspired, needing one more hit on Lebrov. He'll get the kill. Busio stays alive. Inspired about to die to Hans Sama. There's dead bodies on both sides as Quad keeps chasing Hans, but it won't matter. There's no more opportunity here for a kill, and Caps
under the tower here with the double ultimate, and then right after he comes out, Caps goes for the Q and flashes, but on the bottom side, you do have to point out Hans Sama
giving you a little bit more value around the poke. I personally still prefer the Trinity Force. I just think it spikes harder in the mid game, and we'll see if it comes to fruition now as the root comes through.
Yeah, Lebrov getting bound up. Chain CC, he can't press up.
After advantage, and G2 making these mistakes where they're just out of position, and FlyQuest doing a really good job of finding them and
force one. It could be your opportunity to take the lead.
Busio hovering here too. Watch out for the Bard ultimate.
Inspired, gonna find Skewmon there as he clones back over the wall, but now Quad could be in danger. Immediately drops the combo onto G2, but instead it's the full engage. Tempered Fate looking to stuff that engage now as Hansama's under pressure, but Inspired has to try to get away. The Senna ulti over the top, as now the turret is destroyed under the bottom lane at the same time. G2, they get the shutdown back on the Quad's Annie. It's 1 kill so far, 1 kill for G2, nothing for FlyQuest. 1 turret for 1 across the Rift, but G2 got it first, so they earn first turret, they earn the feats, they're gonna drop the Rift turret in mid lane as well. The play favors G2.
Yeah, the getaway driver there. Broken Blade jumps in the Rift Herald, and with the increased turning radius there, just cruises on through to safety. G2 get their play, they get out. Bwipo, of course, after the teleport up to answer, does at least go for that trade. Does come into play, because looks like he is going for the Black Cleaver build. Does have Wukong as well as the Garen on his team, so going to try and shred for the squad.
You have no idea that this is going on right now. They have a suspicion.
Broken Blade's smelling something funny up here in the topside river, as G2 are going to show up, and they show up with enough men in enough time that FlyQuest does not feel confident finishing the objective. At the same time, G2 did grab that turret down there in the bottom lane, ties it up at 2-2 in that count. Busio with a nice 2-man binding there. Make sure he can get himself away as Lebrov and Skewmon is the question that'll answer whether or not FlyQuest can take this soul. G2 moving up with a full 5-man roster to try to stop it, as Bwipo immediately tries to engage on the Captain Hans, but Bwipo's going to be isolated. Immediately the Senna ulti trying to reinforce FlyQuest top laner, but he's going to be taken out before anything else happens. FlyQuest in some trouble. Broken Blade here with the front line, goes all out and he manages to stay alive. He's gonna kill Quad. Broken Blade popping off. G2 slamming the fight. The target selection was better, and G2 hold on.
In the front to back, it's G2 that holds strong. The idea being that when K'Sante goes in and the Rel is there to follow up, Bwipo immediately turns his attention onto the backline. He says, if I can stop you from following up, then that means that the K'Sante's just gonna die. But that is not what happened. Broken Blade was able to survive.
Jump in power here for G2 as well. FlyQuest is on the approach, but the Otacon is already low. Lebrov goes in for the engage on Busio, but he gets away on a magical journey. Broken Blade here to frontline now, as Bwipo's already spinning on top of him. The Garen damage is big, but Broken Blade still getting himself away. The Otacon is claimed by G2. Broken Blade still the target, likely to be the sacrificial lamb, continues running, trying to waste as much time as possible here on the FlyQuest side. Broken Blade still clearing the distance. Inspired can catch up, finds the last hit there for the shutdown. Bwipo and Quad are way too far forward. Quad's already going to be killed as Busio finds a big Tempered Fate, but Bwipo's going to die now too. Skewmon heals with the Triumph, but he does not die. FlyQuest solo laners go in alone. Masu and Inspired now ready to try to follow up, but Hansama's already able to make the distance. Lebrov with a crash down over the wall, but Inspired ready to
big team fight win before Dragon, stopping the soul stacking and getting the Otacon. Bwipo is at it again though.
Yeah, Bwipo wants to go in after Hans. Tempered Fate finds the Corki, but nobody else. FlyQuest going in. Inspired ready here with a Cyclone. Hansama's already down. Masu trying to get away from Lebrov. Looks for a little bit more damage. If they can kill the Rel too, that's going to be huge. Bwipo goes in for the Stride Breaker. A little bit more damage is there, and Masu's already got the kill. Now Broken Blade about to die here too. It's 3-0 for FlyQuest.
They make the quicker play. They just started out with Bwipo chasing down the Corki versus Europe. Back and forth here, Vedius. Big objectives traded. G2 will still have this power of the Otacon, getting extra
Busio's barred to save Masu from what would have been a phenomenal engage on the side of G2. The MasterCard priceless moment of the game, the Dragon Soul for FlyQuest now, but could there be a counterpunch? Quad's in danger. The engage from G2 this time onto the FlyQuest mid. He's gonna die immediately. Bwipo and Inspired looking to turn things around, maybe onto Skewmon. A little bit more damage is needed, and Bwipo's already got the kill there with Demacia and Justice. Now Broken Blade still here on the front. Lebrov takes another hit over the head from Wukong. Masu has joined the fight. Broken Blade's gotta make some distance, but another Tempered Fate locks up G2. Hansama hit with a binding, but they can't follow it up with enough damage. Masu's got a lot of range on Senna now, and Broken Blade is low. Masu getting himself away as Inspired drops the clone to drop the aggro. Now Bwipo still spinning around, but it's only minions under fire. FlyQuest dancing with the line here between greatness and disaster. G2 low on health. backing up. FlyQuest still with the Baron. Caps with the Aurora Burst.
18 stacks on his Magi Soul Stealer here.
Yep.
And since they got the feats, they also have the upgraded boots.
But we're already into a fight. Inspired finds the engagement of Caps and Lebrov. Caps gets himself away. Inspired takes a massive chunk, but Lebrov is the one whose body hits the floor. FlyQuest with another 2,000 as Hans defends the tier 2. And Broken Blade takes one in the bottom lane at the same time.
Throughout MSI, G2's individuals just get caught out in the mid to late game, and it's no different in this matchup. FlyQuest continues to punish them. Inspired is active on the map, and Quad?
Yeah, Quad's in danger. Stun onto both of them, though, as Quad tries to get away, but Broken Blade is going all out. He's in some danger himself. Busio trying to lock him up. Broken Blade is all out, but FlyQuest bring more men. Inspired, land that. Whippo chasing after Caps, but Caps just chunks him for 1/3 HP. Now, Whippo is Garen, level 16. The passive is at maximum value. Inspired goes in for the knockup onto Caps, forces him to use the ulti defensively to jump away. The Elder Dragon is in 30 seconds. If either side gets a big win here, they can go for that, and you know how threatening that is. Yeah, it's a 2,500 gold lead for FlyQuest, but that's not a lot. The Cloud Soul, obviously, being a much bigger difference maker. Silence onto Broken Blade from Whippo, but now G2 ready to step in. Caps goes between worlds, and Masu's already almost dead. Down to 200 HP. Quad's already eliminated, but now Caps is also dead. Masu continuing to fire. Surviving by 100 was enough, and Lebrov is about to die next. FlyQuest turn around. G2, they try to pick Masu. They fall ever so short, but it is just enough for FlyQuest.
The front line for FlyQuest does so much there. The double spinning to winning is able to cut through them, and Masu actually survived the entire thing, kiting back, and with the sustain, and with the peel, FlyQuest
They can walk over the Elder. FlyQuest with a big win in the team fight.
Inspired and Whippo. You said it earlier, Flowers. It was a tale of two halves, with the top side of...
That's the first time he died in this entire game, but so many times in League of Legends, when you're the guy who's got the weight of the whole game on your back, just
now
one.
with the Baron buff here, FlyQuest pushing in.
Masu, so much power on this Senna, 137 souls. FlyQuest on the push towards inhibitor turrets in 2 separate lanes.
Baron buff on the minions with the Elder Dragon on themselves, so threatening.
And they immediately decide to go in for the engage. G2 under pressure, Dawning Shadow, gonna guarantee the first kill. Scumon's already down, and Inspired is legendary. Broken Blade goes all out as Whippo's gonna be in some danger. The shutdown credit goes over to Lebrov. Inspired is far forward. He's likely to burn down here, but he's already got the Guardian Angel. Broken Blade continuing to kite out, but it's not enough. FlyQuest lose their top laner, but they'll take Broken Blade and Scumond in trade. Fly, they still have the Baron. They still have the Elder. They still have themselves set up in the enemy base. Inspired, low on HP, stealing away some camps to try to heal back up, while the rest of FlyQuest continues pushing Nexus turrets. Masu has so much range, G2 can't get anywhere near it. The Nexus already under fire. Quad with the engage, the Elder with the execute, and FlyQuest on the game-winning push for match point.